Hello, everyone, and welcome to the What Turns You On podcast. I am Kaelen Marie, and today our special guest is Olivia Splendorio. Have to make sure we say it correct. And I am absolutely thrilled to have her here. So, let me just tell you a little bit about this lovely goddess. She is a certified pleasure and financial empowerment coach, as well as a comedy, burlesque, and theater artist. She helps women who are smart and capable untangle shame around money and move out of fear and self doubt so they can experience confidence, choice, and yes, even pleasure in their financial world. Certified in financial recovery, an approach that has helped thousands of women transform their relationship with money, Olivia blends humor, playful presence, and practice tools with steady, grounded wisdom in free clarity sessions where women can get a clear, judgment free picture of their relationship to their money flow. That's powerful. It's fucking powerful. Both on stage and in transformative client sessions, Olivia helps women feel powerful and confident with their money and with themselves. She teaches that clarity, not restriction, is the fastest path to financial confidence and pleasure. Welcome, Olivia Splendorio. I am so happy to have you here, goddess.
Thank you. It's so fun to be here.
Oh,
hmm
so as we begin, I just have to ask, because I gotta, babes, what turns you on?
Ooh, oh.
Oh,
It is new for me to get to be in a space like this where I get to be all these parts of myself and to have the bio talk about the comedy and the burlesque and the smart women and the practical tools and how these come together in creating environments where people like these sparks of discovery. That's what really turns me on is like being surprised, like ooh. But I love these work with women in couples and in solopreneurships. There are these moments where there's this spark of truth where they suddenly realize something that they're more capable of. Like this spark of confidence. Or the same thing happens when I'm on stage, we think we know what we're seeing. We think we're bad at money. That's what I hear so often. I'm like a kid
sure.
with money. And then this little spark of, wait, I'm good at this. And wait, oh, she's funny. And wait, oh, wait, you can be pretty and do that. And so those little sparks of contrast, they just get me every time.
Okay, so now the question is begging to be asked. How in the fuck did you get all of this together? Like, who came first, the chicken or the egg, the finance or the pleasure or the finance, the comedy, the burlesque? Like, how did this all happen? Because this is such a unique combination. And I'm so digging the fact that you have connected all of these beautiful dots and you are in full expression of them. So
Mm,
yeah, tell us, how did it all happen?
Thank you for saying that because especially when working with women around money, I do want to be that kind of model. um, and say, wait, you don't have to choose. You can experience the juice of all these different areas and see where they lead you. So how did everything lead me? I was in the School of Womanly Arts first coaching certification program, but that was almost 20 years after I first discovered her work. And uh, back in the day, well, maybe she still does. There'd be big graduations, and I brought my mother and my father and my little brother and my little sister. And my mom was like, "Huh, I feel like you've always been like this, but I'm really glad you found other women who are like this too." Um, because I have just always felt like the body it screams to shake, to celebrate, to explode. Um, So I did do gymnastics as a kid, and then I actually became a professional circus artist, and that's what then turned into acrobatic clowning and burlesque halls are the ones that where that works amazingly. And also in the old days, Mama Gina would bring in specialists and she brought in this specialist about money. And I signed up for her workshop immediately. Uh, and I just was blown away. Wait, you can learn how to be good with money? And I was so angry first. So we know that the world of pleasure is also a path of grief and anger and the
Oh,
sorrow.
oh,
And
preach
yes.
it.
So I was so angry at first. Then I thought, oh, I'm going to teach other artists this. I'm going to have musicians and drummers and singers, and I'm going to teach them about money. And that is not what happened. I ended up working with so many couples because there's that moment of truth again, that part that turns me on so much, that nugget of they're not actually fighting about money. They aren't hearing all the stories that come down from money, like the clit is up here, but all of it is attached. And like it's all this room that we can have pleasure and information from to actually come together in this moment of truth. It's undeniable that money is an expression of who we want to be in the world. So that kind of answers how those all merged.
Oh, like I am just sitting in this, like your example of the clit at the top, but then so much more that's beneath the surface. Like we're not even
Mhm.
literally touching the tip of the clit slash iceberg when it comes to all of these areas, and especially in the areas of finance, but combining finance and pleasure. What does that look like?
Well, this is a new image too that you have inspired and your energy, that this portal you've opened up of this idea of, women come to me and they say, well, I have these accounts and I don't know if they're working, if they're serving me, if they're working for me. And the first thing we look at is the story of each of those accounts. Is it the credit card you opened up to go to Paris? Is it the credit card that was attached to a medical bill or something that was scary and hard and you haven't processed all of that, or bank accounts that are related to exes? So we have to bring all of that in order for us to just be with all the realities about money. And that then informs us, oh, this is exactly what feels grounded and directional. But that's not the kind of financial conversations you usually get when you show up at Schwab Financial or something like that, and they're going to run your assets and net uh, profit and loss statements. Yeah.
Okay, so this is gonna fucking blow your mind. Every
Mhm.
year I said this is going to fucking blow your mind
Okay.
because every year, I mean, fuck the New Year's resolutions. They're stupid in my mind,
Amen. Yes,
right?
a woman. Uh-huh.
Right. And so for, I don't even know, 10, 12 years, I've been doing New Year's themes every year. And I take myself through a process, and Spirit always drops in around November-ish, beginning of December, for what my energies are going to be focusing on in the next year.
Yeah.
Girl, this is what mine is. I kid you not. Wealthy pleasure. Wealthy pleasure is
Mm.
my theme for 2026. And here you are talking of financial pleasure, right? Like this is my theme. That is what my soul, my spirit is calling toward. So,
Mhm.
what would be some things that you would want to share with our listeners when it comes to financial pleasure, wealthy pleasure, and whoever wants to rob and duplicate wealthy pleasure, please, financial pleasure,
Yes.
please do it.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you can even hear in your voice when you say wealthy pleasure,
Oh,
like the power of words and how pleasurable it is to say that. And there's so much about the world that we live in, whatever country you live in, that has not set us up to combine those two.
right.
And not only that, it's really trying to close the curtains on wealth, because if they don't let us women know how we're going to get it, then maybe we'll keep some more of it.
Oh,
So
preach
that
that.
that cracks the code when you approach wealth and you say, yeah, but I'm going to do it in this pleasurable way that's generous and that is thinking about my community while I'm building wealth. And that is inspiring others to be more transparent about money because I'm willing to be grounded in my money. That's how we shift. And I really think we're in a place where women are taking the forefront of wealth and are going to be the next wave of what actually changes the world.
Okay, so then here's this question that's begging to be asked. How do you be turned on with your finances? How do you be in pure pleasure with your wealth, with your finances, with your money? Guidance,
Well,
sensei.
well, kind of like my mom said when I found the School of Womanly Arts of, oh, you have sisterhood now. And the
Mm,
truth is, we're probably not going to have a great time doing it on our own. And not only that, we're not going to be as effective at dealing with our money on our own. And sadly, we're also not going to be super effective starting these money conversations with our lovers or parents or family members. Uh, but we can do that in sisterhood. And
right?
yeah, I don't think we were meant to do it alone. If you think of very wealthy people, they have a team. They're not looking at these numbers alone. They're not looking at the plans ahead alone. They are able to talk about it and say, well, what if we did this? And what if we pussy storm which way this investment is going to go? Or how do we want to direct our energy? That's how I think of money is how I want to express my energy in the world.
Mm, mm.
So those are part of the shifts that start to paint sort of the canvas that we're working on. But I really believe it comes back to sisterhood, whether that is calling your biological sister and saying, okay, will you just stay on the phone with me while I look at my credit card statements? Or whether it's gathering a bunch of women and saying, let's do this together, or working with a coach, or having a tiny little money mastermind group. I really, truly, deeply believe and then have seen the results that when we do it in sisterhood, in partnership, portals open up, like just the flow of energy releases so that we are not in this tiny little tunnel looking at our money.
Oh, yes. When I was in my certification program with all of my sister goddesses, one of the sister goddesses, her name is Mino, oh, Kartar, I want to say is her last name. She had like Pussy was speaking straight to her going, you need to start create a group, get the sisters together. And it was a money pleasure experience. And the book that
Yes.
we had studied was uh Love Money, Money Loves You.
Okay.
And I Sarah by Sarah McCumber, I think, something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, for 12 weeks, we
Oh, that's
met
genius.
together, right? And each sister goddess took a turn on using and incorporating the tools to do money manifestation, money consciousness, money, and so there are so many ways, and it was really magical. Oh my gosh, the experience that I got to do to teach was a wealth manifestation. And like we dressed, and I've got this really great body stocking that's like an emerald green,
Oh,
and I wore my heels with it, and I've got this beautiful tan lush fur coat. Well, it's
oh
faux
my
fur,
gosh.
let's be clear. Yeah,
We can all see this image, right?
right,
I
right.
think
And
we
I
are
had
all
on
feeling this in our
gold.
bodies right now.
Right? I had on gold earrings, gold necklace. Like I was just in the drip, right? And I took the women through this very turned on, very pleasurable manifestation. And I mean to tell you, there wasn't a dry pussy in the place by the time we were done,
Of course. Yes,
right?
because and that's where our energy is. That's how we make change happen. Yes.
Yes. And the power of sisterhood, the power of
Mhm.
coming together, like you're nailing it when you say this is where the magic happens. And then because let's be honest, finances, they if you are just out in the regular world, they can make you want to vomit. And
Hmm.
some do, and we know what some people have done in the name. I mean, they've taken their
Yes.
lives, and that is not what money has ever wanted for any human being, right?
Hmm.
It wants it to be playful. It wants it to be pleasurable. It wants it to be humorous. And here you are, this burlesque performer, this theater artist, this pleasure goddess, bringing all of this into the financial space. What does that what does that look like for you on another level with the burlesque and all of the things?
Yeah. Well, my YouTube channel is called All Things Taboo, of this idea that I really, it feels so clear to me that the difficulties that our nations are having and that people are having with each other is that they are not digesting these parts of themselves that have been too taboo to talk about. And
Yes.
so you're talking about this really real that people take their lives, and that's an extreme, but they also make decisions that we know are not good for ourselves, but we might be making it anyway because we're not willing to process everything around it.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't completely answer your question, but it begs to be said in terms of how we really need to be willing. It's really brave work to look at our money. And the
Yes.
real, so I'm willing to look at all the parts of it. But the real answer for you is it's not fun all the time. And that's why sisterhood is so important. You know, we can talk about self pleasure and orgasms all day long, but until you get out the mirror and until you are touching yourself or touching someone else, you don't know what you're dealing with. And that's why I say clarity is the fastest path towards financial pleasure, is because these moments of really taking the time, and it can be painful and just so boring, which we know is a sign that we're checking out. But that's why having a sister there with you holding space of saying, I am here for you. You're right. This sucks. And we're going to do it together. Like,
Mm.
yes, we're going to do that other stroke. Yes, maybe there's dryness right now. How are we going to dance and have things move? So it's having that accountability, but also that love to say, yeah, it really hurts to look at this credit card balance. I mean, I have some clients who they'll come to a session and they're like, I got this letter and I couldn't open it until our session. Will you please just be quiet while I open it? And that that's our bodies talking. We're not used to being alone in a cubicle
Mhm.
having to make smart money decisions. So it's being willing to, I don't like to use that word in the trenches. I haven't come up with a better image, but really doing the responsible work, but having someone over here, shimmying and coming in my crazy weird glitter dresses saying, we don't have to take this so seriously. We actually are going to get through this boring part much more quickly if we dance and play some Lizzo.
Okay, so I got so many things that are like, "Pop, pop, 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 pop." The first one is the universe rewards the brave. The
I have
universe
not heard that
rewards
before.
the brave. I'm gonna say
Oh,
that one more time. The universe rewards the brave. And the thing is every single human on this planet has 100% success rate for getting through their shit. It may
mm,
not have been pretty, but they
mm,
got through it. And the reason that they know that they got through it is they're here today. They're here right now, right? And then the other secret, and it couldn't be more louder, is it is critical. And I'm saying this from personal experience. The majority of my married life, because I was married for 35 years, and that's a whole other story for a different day. But the majority of that time, I was disconnected from my body. I was
mm.
so disconnected, which meant I was disconnected from pleasure, from a lot of joy and happiness. I was definitely disconnected from my financial world. I was
Yes, right.
disconnected from communication. And my body now, and I realized going through PCC, pleasure certification coaching, whatever, PCC,
Yeah.
that what if this was only meant for me to go through and I share it with absolutely nobody else in the world? I have changed my life
Hmm.
because it has brought me back into my body, and my body is like screaming, "Get back in me, bitch!" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm coming."
Oh,
Right? And it's like, and it feels so fucking great because being here allows me to be here,
mm,
right?
mhm.
And then
Yeah,
when I am here, I also have the bravery to ask for help and reach out to my community. So as
yeah,
we are here in this space, we've got to remember we're braver than we think we are.
yeah.
We are built to do hard shit, and our success rate is 100%. And then here
Hmm.
you come and you're like, goddesses, we're going to have fun doing crazy shit, and it's going to be hard, but it's not. This is what I do. This is your expertise.
Yes,
What's
yes. And
opening up for you?
the other side of that is, especially in couples, but it happens alone with women. As I said, there are parts that aren't easy and fun. And I don't see it quite as much now, but when I started money coaching, there were a lot of people who were saying, "Oh, just buy my budget," which I don't like that word. I believe that clarity, not restriction, is the fastest path to financial pleasure. But they would say, "Just buy my budget and everything will be fixed." And there were a lot of these quick fixes of, "Oh, hire me for one session and we'll set up all your automations." Oh, because then I'm totally going to have a wealthy mindset as once I have automations.
Mm, mm,
So what happens often in this, when someone is brave enough to reach out and have support and accountability, is then they can hate me instead of their money in that moment. And that happens a lot with couples of the process can be really annoying for couples to find a way to come together. And so they can be annoyed with, "Oh, Olivia's making us do this." Yes, that'll unite you. That's perfect. I love it. I'll take it because it's in service of what that next moment of truth is and that next moment of clarity of, "Oh, wait, this, we do want, we both want the same thing. Or we actually are clear we want different things. How do we have both of them at the same time?" So, uh, that came up in terms of it's not always fun. It's sometimes an important ingredient.
oh, oh. So then I've got to ask the question, um, do you ever use sex magic? Yes, because as I'm thinking here, right? One of the elements for the completion of my marriage was, of course, finances.
Hmm.
Absolutely, and
So
lack of
common. Right.
communication. And
Right.
when you're in that space, well, the last thing I want to do is to have you fuck me,
Hmm.
right? Because
Hmm.
there's just not it's and same with him. It's like, why would that be a thing?
Yeah.
So talk to us about how couples come together in their wealthy mindset through sex magic that you bring in.
Well, I think by now we've all heard, I think it was Barry Tesler who originated this phrase of a money date. Uh, but when I work with people, I say, "Okay, you're not allowed to have your money date until you go on an actual date. Okay, you're not allowed to open the books until you open your legs. Like, we need you to have other ways you're coming together rather than this should." Yeah.
Okay, okay, say that one again. You can't open the books before?
If you open your legs, I need you to go on a date. If that means you're not going to do your money homework this week, that's great. Like, let's see what comes up after that. So
Mm,
that that's a little that's not as direct as real deep sex magic practices, which I often am working one-on-one with women when we're working in that, because when you're in that place of surrender, this is part of the catch 22 about money. And so many women are afraid to look at their money because they want to say, "Oh, it's just, it's working out. Like, I don't want to think about it. I think, I'll have a scarcity mindset if I know how much is in the account." And that's that, like, hard to believe. It's some spiritual balance of how can you be surrendered and have clarity at the same time.
Yeah.
That is orgasm, right? When you can't, well, okay, we can fake orgasms, but when you are in a wave of pleasure, there's no pretending. It's either happening and you're acknowledging it or you're closed off to it. But when it's happening and you're in surrender, that's where you get transformation and you get taken to the next level. So that's one of the correlations that I make with sex magic, with money magic, with how do we blend the practical with the emotional? Because money is emotional, but it's also rational. And how do we blend that, what a lot of practices call the masculine and the feminine approaches to that? So we find that sweet, like dancing river through a forest where we're playing with the really practical tools because there are plenty of money coaches out there that don't do the practical tools that really they're not looking at all right, so what are these interest rates, and so what are we going to prioritize, and what do we want, and how do we also get a facial this month? Like that is practical stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so easy to just talk, but all some of my clients, they groan when I say, okay, let's look at the numbers. We have to do both. We have to open books and blogs.
Yes. 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 Okay, we have to open the books and we have to open the legs. And then what's
Put the
coming to
legs first.
mind? Say that again.
Put the legs first.
But the legs first. Absolutely. Then this phrase of a financial orgasm or a wealth orgasm or a money orgasm,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, First off, everything is energy, right? Everything is energy. Money is energy, sex is energy. And it's interesting because in the body, the sacral chakra is home to both. It is your
Yes.
money center, it is your pleasure center. Now, isn't that interesting? Why do you think that this is a question? Here's a better question. Do you think that money and sex are two sides of the same coin? And if so, why?
I love it because again, it's that blend of energy and material of the body is a physical material
Vessel.
core
Yeah.
that, yes, vessel that energy is flowing through and is affecting. For money, so original coins were round and they were to represent the sun and the energy from the sun because that was the energy that we all relied on. And they said, okay, so let's have these little things that represent the one clear energy flow that we all need and share. So money, as as I say, is an expression. It's how you physically express this dollar, this billion, this trillion in the energy you want. How do you want the world to change and your environment to change with this transfer of something physical?
Mm.
And to me, that is just the same as the bodies. I mean, I love that you said it, and I don't think many other people outside of our circles it would be so obvious to them, but it just feels so true when you say it. Like, yes, spark of truth. I love it.
That sex and money are two sides of the same coin.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when we completely grasp that concept and the way that I just want to make sure that our listeners understand, because we need to have we live in a material world, right?
Mhm.
But we have to have that physical element for the energy to flow through because that's what we require in this space. That also keeps us in our physical body. It keeps
Mhm.
us connected to our bodies. Our spirit, where it's housed, is in the body. But as opposed to living in such a disconnected space, whether we're so in our head or up in the realms floating around, but we're now back in our bodies, right? And when we understand that this is the, as you said, the physical vessel, that material vessel that allows all of the energies to flow through. What words of wisdom as we start to wrap this up? What do you have in you that is just burning to be said right now? It's just like has to come through.
As you're helping flesh out that feels like that universal truth of the body and money, what it comes through to me is how and how much we trust ourselves. And I've gone through my vast journey of not trusting orgasm, not trusting my body. And that is truly usually the single most common underlying thread with everyone who comes to me for money support is they're making decisions because they don't trust they're going to be able to handle the outcome. And so they're thinking, oof, I'm not sure if I can trust that. So let me just do it this way, or let me just explode and not think about it. That trust in ourselves that comes from burlesque too. If you've been to a burlesque show, there's just this feeling of, oh, we're all great. We're all divine. This is all so wonderful. And that trust in the universe, the trust in what's possible, and the trust that we're going to be able to handle whatever is coming is what gives us that confidence. And it's easier said than done. And so, how do we get that trust as we come back to the physical and we keep looking and we keep being brave and looking? Brave
Is
about
that why burlesque for you is so potent and powerful because it's such a physical expression?
Yeah, and there's something to me that just feels so real. The
Mm.
it's another one of those contradictions of being a performer is can feel like, oh, something is on display. But to me, it's you're not the audience is not going to laugh if it's not funny. I mean, they
Right.
might laugh if they're uncomfortable, but that's also real. So there's nothing to pretend. Either the tassels go in a circle like that or they don't. And those are my favorite performers when they're like, oh, well, that didn't work this time, but they still are embodied. And so I think it's one of those connections that feels universal between them is it's just so real. And we can't pretend when our debt is higher than our checking account. That's real. All right. So what's next? And when we're pretending, oh, it'll be fine. Oh, I'll just get more clients. Then we're kind of pretending. And what turns me on is when people are willing to say, oh, yeah, that bra came off too early. Or, oh my gosh, the bras get stuck, panties fly the wrong place. I mean, I just love how real everything is. Yeah.
Oh, this concept, this understanding of we must be embodied. We must be embodied in our play, in our humor. We must be embodied in our pleasure. We must be embodied in our money, our finances. And whatever happens, it's gonna happen. It's just gonna fucking happen, you know?
Yes.
And if the money underwear goes flying that way and the tassel swings the other way on the money, hey, it's all good, right? Because at least we're 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 embodied and we're present with it.
Right. Because then, like your body was saying, come back to me, come back to me. Then there's so many more steps to have to get embodied in order to then feel grounded in your decisions.
Yeah.
But
Ooh.
if we're willing to be embarrassed about something we did with money, then we're in our bodies if we're willing to feel that discomfort. And then we can go, okay, yeah, I feel dumb, but I also know that I am smart. So what do I do? As opposed to taking all that extra time to have to get back in our bodies to feel grounded.
I just have to say, I am so fucking turned on right now by all of this. Yes, queen! Like, I am just like, I, my theme is has of wealthy pleasure now has a deeper clarity. Like, I didn't know what the fuck that meant, but it was loud
And it
and
was
it
so
was
clear for
it
you.
was
Yeah.
clear. And I'm like, And if there's one thing that I have learned to do in my, 6 decades on this planet and counting, many more to go, is that I have learned to trust me.
Right.
And when I trust me, even if I fuck it up, guess what? The universe rewards the brave and stuff
Oh,
still falls into place.
I
I
have to
don't know
write that. The
how,
universe rewards the brave. I love it.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
like here we are, the beginning of a new year, which I'm just gonna say I'm so fucking happy 2025 is done because that was a bitch for me. I was right. I was 2025's bitch. And it was beautiful and really rough.
It was real, it sounds like.
It was so real. It was so real. And so this opportunity of 2026, I've already felt the shifting is so much different. And
Hmm.
um like I didn't know how wealthy pleasure was going to come into place, and you reached out,
Yeah.
and here we are. And
It's
here
so beautiful.
I am giving the gift. If nobody fucking else listens to this, but I know they will.
Mhm.
I know
Mhm.
I have received answers to my questions that I've asked the universe and just putting it out there.
Yeah.
So I'm not any different than anybody else.
Right. And it's so easy to think, oh, someone is in a better place with their money than I am. We are on such journeys, such trips, such adventures, and it's not linear. And I think, we listen to Warren Buffett and he really makes it sound linear, but there are a lot of waves that we don't hear about from the establishment's perspective. So that willingness to be brave, but also that awareness, humility of, yeah, we are all exactly where we are with what we've got, and we get to make a choice. And then tomorrow we get to make another choice. And I, so many women I see are paralyzed by trying to make the right choice, which is very understandable because if anyone's like me, we grew up with a lot of usually men being like, well, don't do that. Well, you know that already. And if we ask a question, they say, oh, I can't believe you're asking that. Just so much messaging. So we're terrified to make a wrong decision, but it's pleasure research. It's wealth research. It's let me try this month and see what happens. Let me try this for 3 months and see what happens. I can always change my mind. And that trust in oneself is what I think gives someone the courage to say, all right, I'm going to try this and I can change my mind.
Okay. Number one, you got to write a book. I'm telling you right now, like that. Oh man, I'm feeling it in my body. It's like you must write a book because, goddess, what you are doing is you are shifting the paradigm and creating a new, true, authentic way for humanity
Mm,
to come into financial pleasure, wealthy pleasure.
mhm.
This like you gotta write a book. Now, what are your offerings? Like we gotta know what is it that you are offering that we can tap into because this is this is changing systems. You
Right.
you have within you, you are creating a new system of I'm just going to call it, for lack of a better word, wealthy pleasure.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, when I did the coaching certification, what surprised me is I actually ended up working with a lot of women on performance. I mean, I had Zoom meetings doing dances with people, and we did one of our post certification. We got together, and I went, "Oh no, I can teach you all a burlesque dance, like a group dance. Like, let's do this." So I was surprised actually by that offering, and that is something that always surprises me and sprinkles in of someone saying, "Can you work with me on that kind of embodiment?" But primarily, I work one-on-one on total money transformation.
Yeah.
And for any podcast listeners, if anyone calls me and says, "Yeah, I heard you on Kaelen's podcast," that usually I just do, a 40-minute intro call just to see, all right, what are you dealing with money? But anyone from this podcast who contacts me, you can have an entire 90-minute that money flow call
Mm.
of how to get the real zoom out picture of your relationship to your money. So that's the juiciest offering in terms of how can I just taste this and see what it's like to have a new way of feeling about money? Because really that's the key. Is if you think money sucks and money is annoying and money is drudgery, why would you ever try to look at it? So that special magic key of wait, maybe maybe it could feel different is really potent.
Mm, mm. So what I'll do for all of our listeners here, I will go ahead and put this all of her information in the description below, as well as all of the things. She'll have the links so we can get that there because this is powerful. This is this is such a beautiful and refreshing. I don't even want to say new. I think it's more of an authentic way to look at
Mm,
our relationship with our money, our bodies, our pleasure, our humor, all of it together and
mm,
in one, right? Um,
mm.
I just love this. So as we wrap up, this is my one of my favorite things to do. What would be an outrageous dare that you have for our listeners, please, goddess?
Love being in spaces where people know the air.
Say that
Um,
again. You just cut out. Say that
oh,
again.
I love being in spaces where people understand the power of a dare. Oh, um, well, all right. So part of the background is I flew with Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus. I lived on a train and flew on the double-decker flying trapeze. I have a giant gash in my leg from an injury, bleeding, climbing back up on the ladder to do it. So a huge part of my own personal journey is what is this relationship to fear? And I so for years I was living working with real fear and then people were telling me, "Oh, you can overcome your fear." So like but I could die. So so how where is that spectrum? That's not what people usually talk about in this self-help world. So my dare is to do something scary with money. And like I said, sometimes it's opening that bill that you just really don't want to look at. Sometimes it's adding up totals that you're really scared, or sometimes it's how much interest have I paid on these credit cards since PCC, for example. We don't want to know that number. We want to put our heads in the sand and just wave feathers. So my dare is to do something scary. For some people, that's saying, you know what, I'm going to put money into my retirement account before I buy groceries.
Mm, mm,
That could be scary.
mm-hmm.
I mean, and anyone, my website has ideas of what are scary things you could do with your money, of all in the name of that pleasure research. Okay, if I play with this fear, what will happen? And do I trust myself enough to see myself at the other side of it?
Mm, mm, mm. Goddess, this has been fucking magical.
You are so fun, and I can't believe you conjured me with your wealthy pleasure. You did all of this with your pussy, you maven.
I mean, I have to remember I am this powerful, right?
Absolutely.
I am this powerful, and so is every other human.
Hmm.
So is every
Hmm.
other human. When we
Yeah.
are tapped in, tuned in, and turned on, how could we not be like before we came on? Yeah, I was listening to get low,
Yes.
and you can call me queen because I'm
Hmm.
getting in my turn on. I want to make sure that I'm showing up in this space. And so, okay. So listeners, this is what I'm going to invite you to do. My goddess, before you open up that letter, that bill, that whatever it is you're going to do, get yourself and turn on a song that totally
Hmm.
fucking makes you so excited that you're dripping,
Yes.
or maybe you got
Yes.
a little bit of a come on you. I don't care. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
as you do that, get so turned on so that when you open up that thing, you're gonna go, I fucking got this. I
Right.
fucking got
Because
this.
you're already in your body.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. This has been epic.
Yes.
Goddess
You have made this
Olivia.
so fun. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. So I'm going to put all of the information for Olivia Splendorio. I have to make sure and say it like that. In the description. And everyone, thank you. Thank you for being here. Live in your turn on, live in that space. And of course, the last thing that I'm going to ask is always, always, always. First off, before I end, Kaelen Marie, I'm your host. We've got Olivia Splendorio here. Please like and share and make any comment. Would love to hear the comments. And remember, always to ask yourself, what turns you on? Thanks for being here.